And this is that collabo that I never knew I needed. Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. And I just say, look, the two of you need to get into the studio and give us a whole album because this sounds so good. Die with a smile at 27 minutes to 10 a.m. And as you wake up, I hope you're waking up with a smile. And even if you're not waking up with a smile, I hope that the vibes here are giving you something to smile about. Remember, you're hanging out in the Morning Kiss with your captain of good vibes. They call me Kwambox. And right now, like I promised, we're hanging out with the Harambe starlet Esse Akida. Now, here's what I want you to... Here's a question I've asked you, and I asked at the beginning of the hour. How many Harambe starlets can you mention without Googling? Unajua wangapi? Beginning from the beginning of time, hadi wasai. Yani just mention any that you can. Hit us up on the hashtag Kwambox and Kerry. And I can already see John Teapa anasema Kwambox hata ukinipatia dawa. Maybe a Google. Esse, welcome to Morning Kiss.
Thank you.
It's so good to see you.
My pleasure.
Nakumbuka wewe ni kadonyele.
Yeah, I'm small.
Because on the photos you look tall and big.
Yeah,
But unakwanga kumbe kadogo tu.
Kadogo.
Kadogo. Welcome. But you're small in stature, but big on the pitch.
Sure.
How long have you been playing football?
Since I was 8, professionally, I started playing professionally in 2016. Not 2016, 2018, 2019 actually.
Yeah.
It's when I started playing professional. But my journey on playing football started when I was 8. Yeah.
What is it about football? Because as ladies, when you're growing up, you're playing kidogo. What are you vijana? Hizo games za vijana?
I know.
Were your folks supportive of you playing football?
Of course, 100%. I'm grateful for that. They've always supported me from the word go, I could say. Yeah.
Lakini unajua sale uko hapo 8 years wanaona nikao.
Yeah.
Because were you playing with girls or were you playing with boys?
50-50. Yeah, 50-50. Because when I was 8 in primary school, actually, it wasn't competitive. Primary, high school, university, until after university, now it started to be something different. And then, yeah. But before that, it was like focus na vitabu.
You all the way till uni? How cool you're going to make football professional?
Professional, yeah.
Really?
All the way till uni, yeah.
So the whole time you're playing, you're just playing for fun?
Yeah, I was not for fun, but of course curricular. And again, school competitions, we have the league, but I didn't know it's going to be my thing. Like I'll earn from it. Because in Kenya, actually, football doesn't pay. But again, after gracing, we were preparing to go for the African Cup of Nations. We went to this tournament in Spain. It's when an agent spotted me and he showed interest. It's when I was like, oh, so I can earn from this thing.
Let me get this straight. Where say you tu nenda unasema look, I'm just representing my country. Chani kimbe na kam, right? And then after that you were going to be looking for a job.
Exactly.
Kidogo kasportiwa.
Kidogo nikasportiwa. And the next minute after my parents were urging me until I finished school, I endelea with it. After graduating in campus, I went to Israel. Now professional, my first instinct. That was 2018, 2019. And I graduated in absentia actually. Yeah.
Ulikuwa unacheza football Israel?
Yeah.
How was it? I mean, here you've been playing in Kenya and not professionally. Then now actually leaving the country to play in Israel, which I've only read about in the Bible.
Of course, a very big
transition.
Yeah, a very big transition, especially not having prepared or looked forward to it. Na sahi imekuja. So it came like boom through social media, of course. Nimejipata Israel. Of course, it was a very big challenge. New environment, new everything, climatizing, trying to cope around in Israel. It wasn't easy, by the way. Well, Israeli is just like Vilona Wasoma. Issues, Israel fighting Palestinians. Yeah. Wako tu hivyo pia in personal character. Mention it. So it wasn't easy. Because I also faced racist challenges, of which it wasn't easy. Being a girl child, it's my first time. Yeah.
Let me get this straight. You said ulienda Israel kwa sababu ya social media.
Yeah.
You need to explain.
Because of social media, of course, through social media, someone contacted me. This is an agent, and he shared with me, like, there is a team in Israel which is interested. Of course, I post a lot on my social media handles, videos, and mention it.
Of yourself playing?
Of myself playing. So this agent approached me and showed me the team is interested, this and that. Nikakubali, and I found myself in Israel.
I want you to hold that thought. 22 minutes to 10 a.m. We're speaking with Esse Akida, who is a Harambee starlet. She's a decorated footballer, and she's currently entered a new realm. She's got a book out. We're going to be talking about Esse, the author. But right now, here's Ira Star coming through with commas. Good morning. Esse, before we took the break, you had mentioned how you were playing in Israel.
Yeah.
And like I was telling you, I did a documentary for the NBA, traveling all across Africa, speaking to a lot of athletes who have left Africa to go and pursue their talents abroad. And you'll find that out of 10 who go abroad, only 4 succeed. 6 end up coming back home. And not because of lack of talent, but things like homesickness, it's difficult to acclimatize in some of these environments. What was your experience like?
My experience, my first instinct in Israel, I had a very difficult experience, being that this is my first time doing it at that professional level. So when I was in Israel, I will say the biggest challenge I had is I first a racist act, of which I didn't take it lightly. It broke my heart, but again, it toughened me
From your
up.
team members or from the...
From my team manager. Like I mentioned earlier, we shared the house, but everyone had their own rooms. Like I also said, women football, even abroad, hakuna investments enough. So we shared the house, everyone had their room, but there is this time in January, we had a player who was coming from America, and the team had not prepared well, like we're receiving another player to get her a room or something. So they asked me to leave my room to secure to lala hapo kwa corridor for the American to be comfortable in the room. And the manager mentioned it just straight to me, like, hey, huyu ni mtu mweupe wewe, unafikiri anaweza lala hapo? Wewe enda hapo. So it was difficult. Of course, I cried loud enough. I tried to reach out people home, but African parents. Sasa when you come back home, life ni hard, vumilia tu. Of course, I had to toughen up. And with time, sikusahau, of course, but nilikop. Yeah, but that was difficult for me, for sure.
And while you're going through this, in terms of emotional support, you've mentioned that everybody's far away, you know. And are there any other Africans who are probably in a similar situation?
I wouldn't say yes, but from the people I reach out to, everyone would mention, do you think it was easy for Wanyama to be who he is? He has passed through this and this, even if it was a kawaida, you need to toughen up. It's just a matter of time and whatever.
So usually what we see on the pitch, by the time they're, calling you all sorts of names, and you're seeing the player from Real Madrid, I forget his name, who now literally took fans to court, right?
Yeah.
These things actually start in the locker room.
In the locker room, exactly. This thing starts way back in locker room, trainings. Yeah.
One other thing that women usually mention in sports, it has been mentioned here, it has been mentioned abroad, is sort of sexual harassment, right? For you to be able to get a spot in the team, for you to be able to even just allocated to be able to play just your talents, that there's some sort of harassment. Have you experienced this?
No, I thank God I won't say I've ever experienced that, but other than sexual harassment, I've experienced different challenges like discrimination, yes. You feel isolated, you feel not part and parcel. But about sexual harassment, nashukuru.
Kenya national team. I've said this a lot of times, that our national team is Harambee Starlets. Why? Because of in terms of achievements, I feel like Harambee Starlets has done much more than Harambee Stars. Do you feel like the country supports Harambee Starlets?
The country, I will say we don't receive that support, not even 50%. But in case we did, maybe we could have done more. Because, I've mentioned this in so many interviews that it will always be the girl who will take us to World Cup. Yes, under 17 girls are taking us to World Cup. And, there's no investment. Nothing has been done. Not the government, not the whatever. Because every investor believes that for them to invest, they need to get also something. And they're like investors that are afraid of putting something in women's game because we are not out there or something. And
when you're playing, like say you're playing for the national team, at the stadiums, do people even know that the games are happening?
At least now, yes, people know and come out in big numbers, especially to support the women. Like I will say, last game we played African Cup of Nation qualifiers against Cameroon. The stadium was full. People came out in numbers to support the girls. And I will say maybe before, people were not... they didn't know that the women play or something, but recently people have been coming out in numbers because they've heard from us. We post a lot in our social medias, and at least what to come away now you talk of football. This is great. At least it will reach out to many. So,
yes, and you know what's so interesting? Around the world, this almost like a mental shift where people are spending more on women's teams and women's sports, whether it's in the WNBA, whether you're looking at in the EPL, in the UK, some of the big teams, the women teams are filling stadiums, right? And there's more investment in women teams. Maybe that will trickle into Kenya. But you have a book out. Tell us about your book.
Yeah, because it hasn't been easy. My life journey in football, it had so many challenges, right from Israel, again COVID when I was in Besiktas, in Turkey, again in Greece. It wasn't easy. This is why I had to put it in writings. I came up with Chained, because all these difficulties that I've gone through, haijakuwa rahisi. Coming also from Kilifi, Kenya. This is amongst the poorest counties in Kenya. Also, people believing that football is a game, it's a man's game, like we mdemu unacheza boli kupeleke wapi. That's why I had to come up with Chain, and I did it in my own writing so that I can change people's perspective in a positive way. Because not only in Kenya, but I could say also in Africa, women are not believed to be doing good in football. People still believe like they cannot invest in the game because they still believe like, madam walancheza ball gani or whatever. But at least now there is light and hope in the game, and I came up with Chain to change people's perspective.
Love it. And where can people who are listening get this book?
This book, you can get it from Noria stores. It's in Moi Avenue, Bazaar, shop A12. You can also reach me out on my social media handles. I can also deliver myself, or because I believe now at most to like it when I deliver the book myself, because they want to meet Esse. So I do it passionately because I want to pass the message to them. And
Esse, kuna a parent who's listening right now who has a child in school mwenye anapenda ball, maybe might not like masomo as much as venye anapenda ball, right? Na hajai kuwa in tune with the fact that football can be a career even for the girl child. Utambiwa mzazi nini?
Utambiwa mzazi sahi, what I can tell to that parent out there is to get Chained. Chained will guide them well. Like it will take them through and change their perspective, of course. Also nezambia mzazi to let their kid pursue or do what they want to do. Let kids like do things of their interest to see what force. Of course, it's nice. They should focus on their books. Wakumbushe kwa sababu education is key to success. Of course, you can pursue. I've seen it. Like I've played with players who cannot even interpret their contracts, which is a challenge. And it's because they didn't take their education serious. Of course, it's important they should emphasize their kids to focus on books. But again, work without play, they say. Hutashinda kwa vitabu every time. You need to sport, you need to do other things. Of course, wakuwe too supportive. Like my parents did. Of course, they started late supporting me. But again, when they realized that this is something she could earn from it or change lives out of football, they gave me my space. And of course, I pursued what I love. But again, after focusing and doing enough in my studies.
Love it. That was Esse Akida. Remember, if you've just caught the end of this interview, you can watch the whole interview on our YouTube page and get to know what she said on this. And remember to share it with your friends.